22 years. I'm one of these online dinosaurs. I got started in my last year of university back in 1997 when the internet was just evolving. And basically since then, I mean, there's no such thing as Google or social media or anything like that. So it was kind of trying to figure out which way to go. And one of the things that I developed as a skill, which I wholeheartedly believe is really the crux of my success, is the fact that I'm an online paid traffic expert. Now, I know that there's many people of the philosophy that, why pay for traffic, which was way back then the philosophy because everything was about SEO. But really, today here in 2019, I don't even look at free traffic, to be honest with you, because the time investment involved and the constant changes, it's much easier just to go out there and buy the traffic, especially when there's so many platforms now where you can buy traffic, such as Google ads, Facebook ads, Pinterest, Snapchat now even has their advertising platform, Twitter ads, and the dozens and dozens of native ad traffic networks and intent ad networks that are out there. Since 1997, I can confidently say that I've generated over $50 million in personal sales and commissions for myself and my businesses since 1997. And I attribute this to one thing only. Clearly it's not my brains. It is the ability to go out there and buy millions of dollars of paid traffic online each year. And that's just me refining, split testing, and learning what works and what doesn't work. And once you generally got something that's working, then it's all about scaling. Now, the one caveat that I want to really get you to understand, especially if you're new online or you're struggling to make money using Facebook ads or Google ads, and then convert that traffic into email leads that buy from you using intent-based traffic networks in a very competitive market. Now, let me know how many people here are actively advertising, let's say, on Google ads or Facebook ads or on Instagram or whatever it may be. I mean, I'm still, I'm not, those platforms, definitely you want to be there if you are going out there and buying traffic, but they can be very difficult to advertise on because of a lot of their compliance rules or the fact that their cost to acquire traffic because of competition is very, very high. Just let me know in the question box. I mean, we are constantly, our biggest source of traffic right now is a GDN network, but we do still have our challenges with that. Even this morning, I was working with Google to figure out why the Google bot has disabled so many ads, and it's a very, very frustrating process. So we got Todd on Facebook, we got Jason on Facebook, GDN, Propel. We got Wim, who is learning Bing, which is another great platform. Now, one of the things that I did talk about when I invited you onto this particular workshop was that I was going to show you how to get leads at the dollar range buying dirt cheap but quality traffic. And I'm not necessarily saying that the cheap that converts very well leads to one thing, that's basically financial freedom, meaning that if you have a good converting offer, whether it's your own product or service, whether it's an affiliate related product, and you can get cheap traffic that's good, real, good quality human traffic, not fraudulent traffic or cheap pop-up in China type traffic, then you can make sizable margins and potentially make a killing. And what is that? Who's in this internet marketing game to make money versus who's just doing it because they're bored or they want to do it as a hobby? Let me know in the question box if you want me to show you how to make the money online. Let me know, all right? All right, here we go. Everybody's piling in now. This is not for people who are looking for a get-rich-type program. I have yet to find that online. If you did find a program where you ended up getting rich overnight, please do email me and let me know, because I've been searching for that same program for the last 22 years, and I can't seem to find it. So I've been doing the slow and steady pace to getting rich online. This is also for people. This is not for people who can't afford to at least test for $10 a day. I'm being completely honest with you. When you're getting into the paid traffic game, you do have to have some sort of budget to be able to test with in order for you to initially gather data, so you can figure out, okay, this is working, that's working, this creative is working, those keywords are working. And it's through the process of optimizing those campaigns that you end up turning a campaign from maybe a money-losing campaign all of a sudden into a profitable campaign. And this definitely is not for people who don't take action. So if you're one of the people who goes on webinars, buys $2,000 to $3,000 training courses, attends $2,000 seminars, but ends up flying home and doing absolutely nothing. Really, I don't want to waste your Friday afternoon. You're better off probably watching Game of Thrones or doing something on Netflix rather than being here. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about is Facebook ads and Google AdWords. Now, these are the biggest traffic platforms on the world, and in fact, they control about 90% of the web traffic. And there's a time and place for getting onto these platforms, especially with not so I guess you could say kosher type products such as affiliate promotions or products in markets such as, let's say, health supplements or male enhancement or other industries where Facebook doesn't deem or Google doesn't deem gives a good user experience. Now, you can get started on these platforms. I mean, I advertise on these platforms. They're very good platforms, but you have to be prepared to have high budgets, pay high cost per clicks, and understand that if you want to do any sort of affiliate marketing on these platforms, they're not very affiliate friendly. You do have to find affiliate programs that are completely compliant in terms of the product offering, the landing page, and all of that stuff. And what I found with Facebook and Google is that they have very, very strict compliance rules in terms of what you can do and what you can't do. In fact, the last time I looked, Facebook's last compliance document was 19 pages of stuff that you're not allowed to do when it comes to advertising on their platform. So there's a lot of things that you do have to know. The other thing is it's very competitive and very expensive. At any time on Facebook, if you're going through your newsfeed and you see a sponsored ad, keep in mind that there's over 300 advertisers who are bidding for that specific placement in the newsfeed. And you're not only competing against people in your own market, but you're competing against thousands or hundreds of other advertisers who that user might have an interest in. So, for example, if you're selling, let's say, baby toys, and you want to appear into a newsfeed of a mother who's got a 4-year-old kid, well, she has other interests, and Facebook knows that. And if there's other advertisers in other markets, such as cosmetics or health and wellness or fitness that she's interested in, you're competing against those people too. And that's why you're slowly seeing the rise of costs on both Facebook and on Google. And your ads have turned off. Good luck trying to revive that account. You're better off going out and creating a brand new account with a brand new credit card. Google isn't as bad anymore, but we have had multiple accounts banned. This is when they were pretty ruthless and they wouldn't give any explanation into terms of why your account was banned. In the last probably 4 or 5 years, we've never had an account banned on Google, but they're very quick to start disapproving ads because the Google bot is very, very overzealous when it comes to labeling images or text ads as non-compliant and then disapproving them. And this is all done in an automated fashion because when Google shut us down for 4 months, it's Twitter that really kept us in business, and we were able to generate anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 in sales on Twitter ads on a monthly basis with a great ROI. At some point, we were doubling our money using Twitter, but just recently, about 8 weeks ago, Twitter came out and they banned us, and I'm not surprised because I follow what's going on with Twitter, and it was late 2018, third quarter, that Twitter actually started making a profit. And I knew as soon as they started making a profit, they would probably go after advertisers who had lined their pockets with advertising dollars and start eliminating the ones that they didn't feel gave a good user experience. And once again, they're that mentality of Google and Twitter, Facebook back in the early days where they would ban you, and you ask them why, and they don't talk to you. They basically say, nope, you're not running with us, blah, blah, blah. No, not. And it hurt. This one really, really hurt because the conversions were phenomenal, much better than Google and much better than Facebook. But what are you going to do, right? But one of the things that we've always had in our out there, and this is just last month on Propel Media, which is an N10 ad network, we were able to generate close to $6,000 in sales on a $3,900 ad spend. And if you take a look at here, you'll see here. Let me just go back here. We were able to generate or purchase about 37,000 clicks for about $3,900, which works out to 10.5 cents per click. And this is in a very competitive health market, and this was for our probiotic product. If we tried to promote this on Facebook, but Facebook would not give us anything less than $1 clicks, and on Google search, we're paying upwards of 60 to 70 cents per click, which makes it very, very difficult to sneak out a profit. But within Internet Ad Network traffic, we're getting it every day. US-based traffic. This is not like Spain or anything like that, or Brazil. This is good quality US traffic for 10 cents, which once again generated us close to $6,000 day long. Let me know in the question box.
So he said that $6,000.
Because I don't know about you, it's very difficult to get 10-cent traffic on Google and Facebook. Cheapest we've been able to get it on Facebook, I think, is around the 17-18 cent mark. Google, we've been able to get it around the 17 to 20 cent mark. But those are with high converting creatives. That doesn't necessarily translate into high converting conversions. So keep that in mind. Jason, yeah, a dime. So if you could get a good quality.
Okay, so I wanted to say that he said that the $6,000 they made in sales was just the front page thank you page offer. So people opt in through the opt-in page. That's where you get your leads, your targeted leads. And that $6,000 they made on that campaign with $3,000 ad spend was just on the initial thank you page offer. That didn't include the back end offers that like upsells and things like that before you ever contact the lead through the email list, or if you're getting phone leads to call your leads. So that's a $3,000 profit before you even contact your lead on those ads. And then so he that's what he said. I didn't record it on accident, but just wanted to mention that. Okay, so I don't want to give too much of the all our secrets away, but he was going through the different types of ads and the cost per bid, and the first type of ad was 0.002 cents, so 2/20ths of a cent, I think that would be. For bids as low as 2/20ths of a cent, or 0.002, whatever that is. Then the next type of ad was 0.01 of a cent per bid on the ad. So getting an ad for 0.01 cent. And then the next one was 0.01 cent for an ad. So you can get bids that cheap with the traffic we're using. And he also said that the majority of the traffic we give you with our ads is on desktop, and that with lots of testing and results, desktop traffic has proven to be higher converting than mobile traffic.
It's money that talks the walk, where if you are willing to be the highest bidder, you will generally be placed in the top spot. You don't have to worry about, Google saying, okay, well, you're bidding the highest, but your click-through rate is horrible, so we're not going to give you as much of a higher placement. It's not the case with Internet Ad Network.
Okay, so quickly, he mentioned that this is tier 1 traffic. It's US Canadian traffic, tier 1. And he mentioned that the way that we do this advertising for you is we build an email list, and the reason that we do that is it is because it's an asset that you can control and keep, and that nobody can really, there's really not a lot of rules when it comes to email marketing. There's like spam compliance and stuff like that, but that's very simple to deal with, and we don't have a problem with that. And not only are you building an asset with your email list, but then you can also sell to that email list back-end offers anytime. And in one portion of the webinar, I probably won't record it, but he talks about how he has a guy that's been on his list for 22 years, the same guy, and they're like friends, and he's stayed with them for 22 years and been on his email list the whole time and kept purchasing from him. So that's why one of the reasons. We use this advertising to build your list because it's an asset that you can keep and continue to market far into the future for free, because it's free to send an email once you have somebody's email address.
Along, there's always a hoopla about it. And I'll tell you, anytime there's something new that comes out, there is always a big push from marketers to push it and say it's the greatest thing, because generally speaking, when something is brand new, it's the wild west, folks. There's no policies, there's no guidelines. And when Facebook started Facebook Messenger, they didn't have any guidelines or compliance issues. But now all of a sudden, we went crazy. We started building the massive messenger lists and started sending messages using ManyChat integrated with Facebook Messenger. Then all of a sudden they started these compliance things like, oh, you got to go into a sandbox before you can do this, before you can do that. And then I'd hit up my team to send out promotional messages, and they would say, oh, you can't send out a promotional message more than like once per week or a day or whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, they're coming out with all these rules and all these regulations now for Messenger. And I was like, well, that's stupid. Well, why would I build an asset where, who knows, guys? Look what they did to Facebook pages. You remember that? How great Facebook pages were 3-4 years ago, where you could build an organic reach of 100,000 people on your Facebook page, post, and then 20-30,000 people would see your post. You know what? Today, you're lucky if 1% of people see you posting organically to your Facebook page. How many people got jaded from that whole thing? Let me know, because I'll be honest with you, we spent big money building Facebook pages in particular markets, because we were like, whoa, you build a list of 100,000 people, and then you can hit it up 5 times a day organically and get 10,000 people seeing every single post. And well, guess what, guys? Those days are over, okay? Now, I know that Facebook groups is still good. It's still solid in terms of your reach, but guess what? You think it's going to be that way in a year? I hardly doubt it. Trust me, things will. Facebook will. As soon as all of these groups have been built to hundreds of thousands of people, there is going to come a point where Facebook is going to throttle back the organic reach of even groups, and will probably start charging us as advertisers if we want to reach our audience. Now, can you imagine that? I understand from Facebook's perspective, look, if we can charge these people to reach their audience and they're willing to pay for it, why wouldn't we do that? But I ain't playing that game, and I have decided that we don't focus on building social media properties as our top priority. For me, the top priority, and I'm just telling you right now, listen to me close, your top priority should be building an email list. Don't listen to anybody who says email's dead. Don't think, oh my God, it's 2019, I'm way late to the game. It's never, ever too late to start building your own asset and to start building your own email list, okay? Bar none, it is the best method of communication. I mean, I mailed out for this webinar starting on Tuesday, and I can tell you one thing, if I had done this just using strictly social media or FB Messenger, there's no way there would be the hundreds of you who are on this particular workshop right now. All I'm saying is that it shouldn't be a priority over building your email list. For me, email is basically my tribe of raving fans. And when you build an email list in your market or whatever niche that you're in, it should be with the mindset of building a tribe around people who want to hear from you, people who want to hear what new products are in your market, what promotions you're doing, what are you doing in your business. And if you can bond with that and create a tribe, then they will repeatedly buy from you over and over and over again. And I know this because I got people on my list all the way back from the late 90s who are still with me on my internet marketing list, who have bought from me repeatedly. So don't underestimate it. Don't listen to anybody who says email is dead. And the beauty is obviously that once you build an email list, there's no more paying for cold traffic. That's the big allure of it, because once you build an email list, you can hit it over and over again. And email, for those of you who run a list, you all know that email costs are minimal. You can get started on Aweber or ActiveCampaign or MailChimp or Infusionsoft for that matter for as little as $20 per month. And I mean, I think the most we pay for a list size of close to 100,000 right now is about $1,000 per month, which is minimal. to reach a email list of 100,000 people. Because think about it, if you hit that list every day over a 30-day period, that's 3 million sends for for $1,000. You can't, I'll tell you that much. You're not gonna get that many eyeballs with paid traffic, and I don't care what source you're buying the paid traffic from. Email list is where it's at, because it's also uncapped, meaning that you can hit your list over and over and over again, and you're not going to go bankrupt. And if you don't believe me and you think I'm full of crap, this is from eConsultancy. They did a study, and by far, email marketing provides the highest ROI over other sources such as SEO, paid search, content marketing, social media, affiliate marketing, mobile marketing. I know that everybody's talking the whole rave about content marketing. Oh, you got to build content. You got to write articles. You got to build properties. If you can go out there and you can build an email list quickly by going out there and buying cheap paid traffic, that's the route that you're going to want to have to take. So, why use intent comes to going out there and going out there and getting somebody to give you their name and their email address. I mean, back in 1997, it was easy. You just throw up an opt-in form and people would just opt in for the heck of it. This day and age, trying to get somebody to opt into your list, I mean, you got to really sell them, because it's a different mindset now. People don't want to be spam. People don't want to give up their email address unless they're getting something of immense value. So keep in mind that first impressions count, so make sure whatever you are offering has immense value. Now, don't get suckered into believing that the only way you're going to be able to offer value is to create a 200-page PDF. That is not what people want, okay? People want you to make a promise to them of a problem that you'll solve for them, and then provide them with a solution that solves that problem. Whether that solution ends up being a one-line sentence or a 30-second video, it doesn't matter about the length. All that matters is that you've provided them with a solution to the problem they have, and you have fulfilled on the promise you made. And I'll just give you an example. Most of you guys are familiar with Eben Pagan. He is a online marketer, and he runs under Lead Magnet was the KISS test. And basically with this lead magnet, it was with the headline, how to know when a girl is ready to be kissed on a date. And that was the big promise that was made. So when people opted in, generally speaking, it's for guys who were opting into the list to figure out how to know when a girl's ready to be kissed on a date, all they cared about was, okay, well, what is the signal? What do I need to know if I'm going to make that first move? Well, when they opted into the list, Eben, he delivered on the promise. He didn't do it through a 200-page PDF. He didn't need to. He didn't deliver it through a 3-hour Ben-Hur marathon of a video to explain it. It was one paragraph. That's it. It was a 3-line, 1 paragraph that basically said to guys that when you go in for the kiss on that date and she leans forward, that means she's ready to be kissed. If she doesn't and she backs up, that means she's not ready to be kissed. That didn't take a 200-page PDF to deliver that message. It only took 3 lines. Did he deliver on the promise? Yes. Were they happy? Yes, because now they knew something. He provided content, and he was able to build a $20 million business in the dating market. And one of the things that propelled to that was that one particular funnel, which was simply the KISS test, how to know when a girl's ready. I am one of those people who's reluctant to give up my name or my email address, but I did come across an offer. I forgot what market it was in, that made a big, bold promise about a problem I was having at the time. And, I was like, oh man, if they're going to deliver on this promise, I'm set. I gave my name and my email address. And you know what they ended up delivering? They ended up delivering a 200-page PDF. And I looked at this thing and I said, number one, I don't have time to read a 200-page PDF. Number two, I don't have time to go through a 200-page PDF to find the one page that probably has the answer to the problem that I was trying to solve. So please make sure it's easily consumable, because most of the time when you're selling, if they don't consume your lead magnet, they're never ever going to end up getting to the sales message and never end up knowing about your product or service that you're offering. In fact, I believe that the lead magnet should really be the first step towards the sales process. And if that's not being consumed, well, you're going to have a problem. Just example of what a lead magnet examples could be that you could offer. I'm not saying don't offer a PDF report. They're still one of the most popular lead magnets. Just make sure that it is easily consumable. Keep it down to like 10, 15 pages. You don't need to create this epic 200-page production. Video, once again, if you're going to do video, make sure that you're delivering a promise right away in the video so that the prospect does not feel jaded and get upset when they're watching it and not getting to the solution to their problem. Audio is good. Checklists are very popular. They're quick. They're easy to create, and people are happy because they have what you promised. Cheat sheet are popular. Newsletters. How to cure your acne in 3 days and have a clear face following this 90-second daily routine. There's your big, bold promise. Now you're asking for their name and their email address. So, one of the things that people have problems with is you don't need to be a techie. With so many tools out there like leadpages.net, Optimize, the main things on the opt-in page, or it's also known as the squeeze page, that you want to have in order to start building your email list. Well, number one, you got to give them a compelling reason to join. You really got to kind of hit them where the problem is and let them know that you do have the solution. And like I said earlier on, you got to split test this stuff. And then the first thing that you want to split test is the headline. So maybe it's like, clear your acne in 3 days. Testing that against the headline of maybe something like, develop a clear face, rid yourself of acne in 72 hours. I mean, different wording, different type of headlines to see which generates thank you offers to basically get paid to build a list. And basically that means that, build an email list and actually make money doing it. How many of you would love to do that? Build a massive email list of 50,000 people and actually make money and profit before you actually even ever email anybody on that list. Do you want to see how we're doing that? I know that might confuse a lot of you, but imagine somebody handing you a 50,000 person list and actually giving you money on top of that. So I'll show you how we do that. Now, Precious Metals offer, typical. I mean, they're going for the first name, last name, phone number, and then the email address, and then they're giving away a free investor's guide. Now, you have to test on your own. They're probably backing into a call center, let alone collecting the email address. So don't think that lead gen can be just strictly email lead gen. It could be phone number lead gen, SMS lead gen, full address. And because a lot of people who grab the full address then sell that off to offline mailers and make money selling those type of leads. Does that make sense? Let me know in the question box, guys. Excellent. I'm a firm believer that if all of you guys could literally build a lead gen business and make a lot of money, because it's all about data. And if you have segments of just building lists and then doing drops and getting paid, and those are third-party brokers that find advertisers who are looking for email lists to promote their products to, and they are willing to pay you $5,000 just to do a drop. So keep that in mind. A lot of companies out there will do that. I think one company is email. About marketing is all about persuasion. It's all about consumer behavior and really understanding the deep needs of your prospect. Because if you can understand what your prospect is really kind of trying to figure out or the problem they're trying to solve, writing a persuading headline can be very easy. And when you test that and you split test that, and that's the first element you want to test, that will have the biggest impact on your opt-in rate. Then you want to go after images. There's tons of places online where you can get, and we've refined it. We're able now in the health market to get leads in the $1 range. And once we're able to generate that lead in the dollar range, they're taken to, this is just an example of a thank you page. And this is basically the page that people see once they opt into our list. Okay, so they've seen the squeeze page, they are interested in the promise that we're making, and for this particular one, the promise is a report on 5 bad health foods that they should avoid if they want to actually lose fat. And then they're taken to this thank you page where basically at the top it says, thank you for requesting our free report. Please check your inbox for instructions on accessing the report. If you don't see an email, we then do instruct them to check their spam folder, take it out of their spam folder, and put it in their inbox in order to get the report. Now, you might be wondering, well, why don't we put the download link on the thank you page to the report? We used to do that, but we never do that anymore. And the reason for that is because if you put a download link to the PDF right on the thank you page, what incentive do they have to open the email that you just sent them that already has the download link? because one of the things that email service providers like Gmail and Yahoo and all of these, Hotmail and all of these companies look at is, especially when it comes to scoring the emails that you send out, and email deliverability is a topic that's way beyond this particular webinar. One of the things that they do look at is that very first initial contact between you and a prospect. So if that very first email to your prospect is getting a low open rate, you're going to have a tough time hitting the inbox for prospects for the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth email. So what you want to do is encourage them to open the email by telling them that the lead magnet is the promise that you've made can be fulfilled by opening the email and downloading, whether it's a report or whether you offer the solution right there in the email. But do everything in your power to get them to open that very first email. Wim is asking double opt-in or not. Wim, we never do double opt-in anymore. Double opt-in is so like 2003 now. Here's the big thing, and this is what brings this all together and really kind of helps us make money on even before we start emailing these prospects. And it's the fact that we make an offer right here on the thank you page. And I know that many of you have been conditioned to believe that when you're building an email list, it's all about value, 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 value. And a lot of marketers equate value to not selling. Once again, that's a load of crap. We have found that if you want to give your subscribers the fuzzy, cuddly feeling of just providing them content and being known as Mr. Freebie or Mrs. Freebie, by all means, you can do that, but don't expect to make any money, because 10 emails down the road where you actually do hit them up, because they're so conditioned to believe that you're not selling them anything and that you're just offering free, valuable content from the goodness of your heart, they are going to get upset once you start promoting to them. So we have found that if you set the expectations out right from the start, that hey, we're marketers here, we're going to sell to you. Not only will it reduce your spam complaints, it will condition them to understand that they're going to be marketed to. And if they want to get off their list, they can get off your list. But we make an offer right here on the thank you page for our supplements. So they can start watching this video. We don't force them to watch the video. We don't hide the lead magnet behind a content gateway. We tell them if they want to get the lead magnet, just go to their email and it'll be right there. But in the meantime, while they're waiting for that very first email, go ahead and watch this video. So we've got this down refined to an art that we have a 1% conversion rate on our thank you page, meaning for every 100 people who opt into our list and end up at this page, 1 out of those 100 will end up buying the supplement that is promoted in this video. And that translates into a $185 average transaction value, because we sell a 1-bottle option, a 3-bottle option, and a 6-bottle option, which averages out to about $185 on the initial sale. Okay, so with that, you have a product cost of $37. That's the hard cost of the product and the shipping itself. And then and I'm being a little bit conservative here, I pegged us at generating leads for $1.20. So 100 people who opt in would cost us $120, even though on a good month we're able to get leads down to $1 per lead or $100 for every 100 leads, which gives us a profit of $28. So in essence, we are actually getting paid money and making a profit to build our health list. Does that make sense, or did that go over your head? Let me know in the question box. Let me go over that. Because of the offer we have on the thank you page, we don't sit there and we're not there to tickle our customers and give them a fuzzy feeling by giving them amazing free content on the thank you page. Forget that. I'm a marketer here. I'm here to make money, and I think you're the same here, okay? You're here to make money. You're not here to rub people's tummy and pat them on the back and stuff like that. Market to them on the thank you page. I'm telling you that right now, because when you find the right converting offer on that thank you page, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your own product or service, it can be even an affiliate related product, you can make a killing just on the thank you offer. You just need to find the best converting thank you offer. Eric is asking, how long is the video on the thank you page? Eric, the video is 30 you can literally go after your competitors' domains and you can target them. So, for example, if you're jimmyswedding.com, there's no stopping you from having your ads pop up over, let's say, wedding.com, theknot.com, davidsbridal.com, and all of these websites that are very related to your website. Now, let me ask you something, okay? How much more targeted could you possibly get than popping up over your competitors' websites? Answer me. Let me know in the question box, because I have not found a place where you can get ads at more and more targeted. Yeah, Google, you can go after keywords. Yeah, is that more targeted than your competitors' websites? Probably not. Facebook, you could probably go after a particular interest. Is that more targeted than your competitor's website? Probably not. And Clive is saying affinity ads. There's custom intent ads on Google Ads. We've run them all. Nothing compares to being able to pop over our competing websites. So Wim is saying people who have bought before. I'm talking cold traffic, Wim. I'm talking prospects who have never heard of you, never heard of your brand. Then if this is the way to really go, okay? So how do we go out and have your pop-up ad, PPC, or your opt-in form appear over the Google search results or Bing search results? And in order to go out and do keyword targeting, really simple. There's so many keyword spy tools out there to build leads from our competitors' websites, and these are very, very targeted leads. Now, of course, one of the things that you want to do is be able to track what traffic sources are delivering the leads for you, what keywords are converting, what domains are converting. So one of the things that you do when you set up a campaign, when you want to build an email list, is to make sure that you're tracking every traffic source to figure out what traffic source is bringing you the leads. So every traffic source should be tracked, and within that traffic source, every campaign should be tracked. And within every campaign, every ad group should be tracked, because you'll find different websites will perform differently, and different keywords will perform winners. And that's how you build an email list for cheap. When you start out, you're not going to be generating $1 leads unless you get real lucky right out of the gate. But you might be paying initially $2 per lead, and the whole idea here is that you optimize until the cost drops down to $1. And there's tools that are like, I mean, who here wants to make money? Let me know in the question box, or just. Oh yeah, everybody's pouring in. Of course, it's all about the money, man. It's all about the money. I'll tell you one thing. It's very difficult not to make money if you have a list of 100,000, 10,000, 5,000 people in a very specific market, because once you're able to figure out the problems in that market and then figure out the solutions to those problems, then you have the ability to monetize the list. Now remember, I already showed you how you can make money before you even ever mail the list by having an amazing converting offer on the thank you page. But the real money always comes in the back end. And what you want to do is you want to monetize your email list with related offers. So what happens is when we start bringing hundreds and hundreds of people, and because we've been doing this for years now, and we've gathered so much data from previous broadcasts, and the difference between a broadcast email and an autoresponder email is a broadcast email is when you hit the list live with an offer, whereas an autoresponder is that they're drip-fed emails automatically in a autoresponder sequence by your email service provider, whether it's Aweber or ActiveCampaign. And what we've done is we know what offers convert based on past experience, and we've created an autoresponder sequence that drips those offers first, because we know that we're going to be able to monetize people who go through the autoresponder process. And once people finish the autoresponder sequence, then they're put onto our broadcast list, and then we're continually testing other offers to see what is converting and what's not converting for them. And we're constantly split testing, not only in the autoresponder, the subject lines, the body copy, but also with our broadcast. Almost not a single broadcast goes out without us at least split testing the subject line, so that if that broadcast email brings us in a bundle of money, we know what subject line converted, and we know what, in some cases, sometimes we even test the body copy. We know what body copy converted. Then we take that email, and then once again, we migrate it to our autoresponder sequence. And our goal is to actually build out an autoresponder sequence that goes out an entire year. So imagine being able to build out an email list that has an autoresponder that's making you money on autopilot over the course of 1 year. I mean, that's ideally what you want to do. And when you do that, you have the ability to watch your back end revenue grow, and that's really how you build a business, folks. That's how you build your business, is really through the back end. And I think one of the problems is that we're so front end focused in terms of always trying to acquire new customers, that we lose you lose the focus on understanding that most of your revenue, if not 80% of it, all comes from the back end if you actually focus on the people that you've already acquired. And that's the people who are on your email list and the people who've already bought your products or services. So how do I know that this process is going to work? I mean, we've done this in the health market, the baby market, the IM market, the coupon market, the wedding market, the recipe market, and in dozens of other markets. But how am I so convinced that this can work for you? Because like I said, this exact same process has worked for us continually over and over and over again. And James is asking, what about UK traffic? James, you can do this for UK traffic. The only thing is that you got to be GDRP compliant. That's the only caveat, and get similar results that we're getting. Now,
Okay, so he was just talking about another type of ad that we can run where you actually can get clicks on the ad for as cheap as 1 cent. So cost per click of 1 cent, if you can imagine that, but it's very real, just like everything else you've seen. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video here. I think that you have seen enough to understand that this is extremely powerful to build your business and to profit. And as we set up the ad campaigns for you and test it with the initial amount that is required, we begin testing immediately everything we're doing so that we can optimize the results and get the cost as low as possible and get the thank you page offer converting as high as possible. We test everything and track everything from the very get-go, so you know that we're spending your money as wisely as possible, the advertising spend, to get this creating the best results for you as in terms of lowest cost per click and lowest highest amounts of click-through rates and conversions and thank you page sales and the best targeted leads. So if you are interested in going ahead and proceeding to get your campaign set up, just get back with me. I might have talked with you on Facebook or somewhere else, but I've also just left my email address